This video is sponsored by OBSBot. So with Black Friday coming up just around the corner and everyone rushing to find the best deals possible out there, I thought I'd make a video covering 5 items that, if you can pick them up on the day for a cheaper price, you might be able to get an absolute steal as a content creator or a streamer. So the first item is something that doesn't improve your stream quality or production quality, but more quality of life and comfort. And that is something that I've been rocking for a few years now, and that is the DeltaHub Carpio 2.0. And what this is a wrist rest that moves with your arm. So instead of a stationary wrist rest that we're all so used to, this product is built from a combination of plastic feet along with some silicone pads that you basically rest the ball of your hand on. In doing so, you're relieving the strain on your hand bending upwards for a long period of time at the computer, and if you are someone that has suffered from RSI, then this could be a big relief for you. And I'm speaking from experience here, as a number of years ago I actually did break a bone within my hand that would then start to get a little bit more burning sensation after long gaming sessions or work sessions at the station. They also have a model called the Carpio G 2.0, which is also much more of an alternative to the original wrist rest with an adjustable strap and holes within the silicone pads for some more airflow, catered towards much more of a gaming aspect use case scenario, which is what I mostly use when playing more FPS and competitive gameplay. And if you want to know, I honestly cannot use a mouse now without this thing, and I think too, after some adjustment and getting used to it, you too will feel the exact same way if you pick one up for yourself. Now let's talk about webcams. For the past couple of years, webcams have now become absolutely ridiculous in quality. I think that's because of the popularity of streamers using mirrorless cameras and linking them through a capture card that this really has kicked manufacturers into gear on creating webcams substantial enough for people to feel they can use them with a high quality product but without breaking the bank. The first webcam I'm going to talk about is the OBSBot Tiny 2 Lite. Now, I tested this thing out and have it in my current setup over on my streaming machine when I'm doing streams from, say, the arcade machine at this side of the room, and possibly when I'm doing VR. It is a 4K camera with HDR compatibility, and the coolest thing of this overall is the fact that it has a built-in gimbal that through OBSBot's own software allows you for automatic tracking. So say if you're a streamer who likes to play games like Just Dance or even VR games like Beat Saber, this is such a good camera to have in your setup. It features a 26mm focal length lens with an aperture of 1.8 and a 1/2 inch CMOS sensor, meaning you're getting a lot of field of view with the camera and allowing in a ton of light, making it easy to adjust things in low lit scenarios. It has a very handy flippable mount for you to stick to the top of your screen without having to worry about where you're going to place it in your setup. However, if you don't want to attach it to the monitor, it also features a small thread on the bottom, allowing you to even mount it to, say, a tripod or a clamp-on desk stand. The video quality of this thing is just nuts outside the box, and if this is going to be your main camera on your stream, you're not going to have to worry about how you look on this thing. Along with the tracking, it also features the ability to auto-zoom into your upper half of the body, say if you're moving around the room and further away from your camera. And if you're using this for education purposes, the tracking also features hand tracking, allowing you to go over everything you need to within your video, say if you've got a presentation up on a whiteboard. But if you don't want to have this functionality enabled, you can also choose to do this manually with some built-in hand gestures. It features all the FPS that you need as a stream from 24 to 60 frames per second. However, at full resolution at 4K, it is then limited to 30 frames per second. But if you're using it for, say, a YouTube video, then this is more than enough. And if you're not using your own microphone, it features a dual microphone setup with noise cancellation built into them. Another cool thing with this camera is that you can also toggle on and off settings and gain full control of what you want to do with it using an Elgato Stream Deck, which if you're a streamer with a setup that covers a range of different video scenarios is extremely helpful. The camera also has the ability to add more bokeh to your background and even the ability to smooth out your look through their own AI beauty filter. Now, alongside their Black Friday deals on their website, OBSBot have also given an extra 5% off for you guys. So if you want to use the code OBSBOTOT, there's a link down below for you to be able to check it out from their website. Now, if the Tiny 2 Lite is still outside of your range for your budget, OBSBot also have you covered on that one. This is the Meet 2. It is a tiny 4K webcam. And if you don't believe me, check out the size of this thing. How is this a 4K webcam? I actually burst out laughing when I unboxed this thing for the first time because I couldn't believe that something this small could pack a punch at 4K. It's freaking crazy. It comes in 3 colors available, which is white, grey, aurora green, which is much more of a minty green color. Like the Tiny 2 Lite, it features a 1/2-inch CMOS sensor and has an aperture of 1.8, which is very handy yet again in lower lighting scenarios, so you're not going to be missing on anything on your camera during that time. Unlike the Tiny 2 Lite though, this webcam does not come with a 2-axis gimbal, so it is not possible for it to track you around the room physically. However, what it does have is the ability to automatically frame and adjust depending on how many people are within the frame of the video at the time, which is ideal, say if you're shooting a podcast or if your partner pops into the room while you're live on stream. The camera comes with a very handy mount to be able to clip to the top of your monitor, and say if you are streaming or recording in vertical, because the mount isn't physically attached to the camera and held together through magnets, you then have the ability to physically pick up the camera, flip it onto its side, giving you full vertical coverage, which this day and age, say if you're streaming to TikTok or YouTube, is an absolute game changer. The camera also comes with a privacy cover, when not in use can be actually stored on the back of the mount through a magnetized connection. Like the Tiny 2 Lite, you're able to access all of OBSBot's features through their software, creating presets for different scenarios, controlling the amount of bokeh in the background, and fine-tuning it through the beauty filter. Give yourself a bit of an extra control over how exactly you want to look on your stream. Honestly, at a cheaper price point, I thought there would be some things that would be missed between this and the Tiny 2 Lite. But OBSBot literally have cut no corners apart from the 2-axis gimbal between the two models. And if you're not using your own microphone, it also features a dual microphone setup with noise cancellation built in. And yet again, OBSBot have also given an extra 5% off their Black Friday deal by using the code OBSBOTAUT on their official website. So please guys, honestly, if you want to check out either of these webcams, which if you don't have them and are not using a mirrorless camera, I highly suggest them. The next item on the list is a microphone, and it seems to be a very popular choice for people getting into either gaming or streaming and want to improve their sound quality. And that microphone is the FiFine AM8. It is a dynamic USB-C or XLR connected microphone, which is very handy because it gives you the ability to upscale your audio setup in the future, say if you want to pair it with a mixer. It features 2 volume knobs, one for your microphone and one for the level of your computer audio if you're using the built-in headphones port, touch-sensitive mute button on the back, and finally a button to choose your flavour of RGB. It is also packaged nicely with a stand, so you don't have to worry about needing a microphone arm straight out of the box either. And let me tell you this, the sound quality of this microphone, even for the regular price point and not on sale, is just nuts. I used this within my own setup for testing out over a week, and even then my viewers on stream never once complained about the audio quality, and they couldn't really tell the difference between this and the usual Shure SM7B that I use, and that comes at a price point around about 4 or 5 times more. And if you don't believe me, here's a little example for you of exactly how it sounds. A yacht slid around the point into the bay. The two met while playing on the sand. The ink stained dried on the finished page. The walled down was seized without a fight. Now, one downside of this microphone for me is the fact that it is a budget microphone, and usually with cheaper microphones you'll find that they go for a much cheaper housing. So if you knock it or tap it, these sounds will come through on the input, so just take note of this, especially if you're like me and you like to flail your hands around while streaming and being very animated while on camera. But the one big takeaway for me with this microphone is the fact that since it comes with both a USB-C and XLR connection, this allows you to expand your audio setup in the future to pairing this with a mixer, and you don't have to worry about changing your microphone with this as well. And finally, we come to the last item of the video. Now, this may seem like a no-brainer, but the amount of people that I know that either use a cheaper alternative or a free app on their tablet or phone, but hear me out. If you're not using an Elgato Stream Deck as a streamer, what is wrong with you? Recently there's been many rip-off of cheaper options of the Stream Deck appearing on different stores or say Temu or Alibaba. However, with the different faceplate stands and the ability to purchase or make your own 3D printed under desk mounts or on top desk mounts, freeing up the desk space for the deck, I'd be sticking with the OG when looking at an option like this. The biggest thing for me overall is the cheaper options won't have access to Elgato's vast marketplace of different plugins and icon packages to use on the Stream Deck. And one developer of plugins for this accessory, whom you may never have heard of before, is BarRaider. Now, BarRaider has many plugins that I use significantly on a regular basis on my stream. The main 3 ones being the OBS plugin, which offers much more versatility and options over the default OBS plugin for the Stream Deck, the Spotify plugin, allowing you to control your playback of the app with ease, And finally, one of the handiest ones to use is the Bar Raider Twitch plugin. The best thing for me using the Stream Deck though is that of the ability to have a multi-action button. And here's some examples of some scenarios that I use the Stream Deck that just automates my stream for me. To begin with, I have one button that loads up my OBS alongside any extra automation software such as Atem. Alongside it as well, I have some browser pages such as the Creator Dashboard loading up. The next example, instead of just having one button to switch scenes on OBS, I have the multi-action button trigger my Spotify playback going from my just chatting to my gameplay screen, meaning my music automatically turns on and off depending on which scene I am on. And using Bar Raider's Twitch plugin, I am also able to give people in the chat a shout out without having to type a single thing out. And as well as this, at the very end of my stream, I can see who's live and with one long press of a button automatically trigger a raid on someone I follow. With this kind of versatility, it'd be silly not to have a Stream Deck in your setup. And even then, if the 15 key deck is still a bit too pricey for you, they also have the option for a 6-button deck, which I can actually say I used for a couple of years before upgrading, and by the ability of having pages and folders for the buttons, it's a small beast that can pack a punch for what you need it to do. So anyway guys, that's all for it in this video. I hope that just knowing what to look out for on Black Friday deals coming up is a little bit helpful. And if you want to know more for say anything else to look for in this festive period, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, and if you want to see more videos like this on the channel, hit that subscribe button. But until then, I'll catch you in the next one. I'll see you.